first units that will be passing us by. Our parade broadcast tonight being brought to you by a group of junior achievement and parade boosters and backers who throughout the week will be reminding you about all the activities as far as junior achievement activities at the Jackson County Fair. So we hope that you'll keep that in mind and make that a part of your fair broadcast. And we'll mention those folks as we go along tonight. Well, Dennis, it's a little warm, it's a little humid, but it's good fair weather.
Yeah, that it is. I've been thinking, we've been doing this now for quite a few years, of course, many years, but this is one of the warmest. I don't recall one being quite as warm as tonight or as breezy. There's a nice breeze here. I hope it isn't going to pick up on our mics too much, but there is a breeze out there, and it is warm. And they've been saying that the weather we've been having here the last 10 days is about the warmest type weather we've had in about two decades, I guess. They say it's been about 20 years since we've had a heat spell as bad as the one we've had the last 10 days or more. So it is a warm one.
I look back in the records. We keep track of attendance, and the numbers always reflect hot because I always write down what the temperatures and what the weather is during fair too. And sometimes heat will keep people away more than rain. They just don't like to venture out. I guess we've become too acclimated to air conditioning, and so it's a problem now to get people to come out in the heat.
Yes, it is. There is air conditioning out at the Jackson County Fairgrounds. People know that, but for the most part, the only place you're going to get cool will be at the Pearson Memorial Center. That building is air conditioned. That large building is air conditioned, as well as where the flower show is, and the Creative Arts Show, and the Historical Society. That big blue building out there is air conditioned, and people can always cool off there for a while. There is an air conditioning system in Boyer Hall, but Boyer Halls can be taxed a little bit too much, and sometimes it doesn't get as cool as you'd like it, but it is better than outside. So that's another place. The smaller building, Boyer Hall, has air conditioning. It's going to be this way the entire fair. We're going to have a chance of some rainy conditions yet today and tonight, tomorrow, and Friday, but then everything's pointing to a dry weekend. So Saturday and Sunday will be dry, but both Saturday and Sunday will be in the upper 80s. I think maybe even we'll reach 90 degrees on Sunday. So it is going to be one of the hottest Jackson County fairs in quite a few years.
We're situated here in front of the studios across from the historic Decker Hotel, and that's where the three judges are also sitting, and some of the units have requested that they be judged during tonight's fair parade. You'll hear those judging results tomorrow on our morning news, but it's customary that a few choose to go about the process of contacting the Fair Board office and asking that they be judged. So they'll have numbers affixed to their parade or float entry, and they'll stop maybe a little longer here in front of the judges to give the three judges a chance to look them over.
We haven't said anything yet about the crowd downtown, but it looks very good. As I look up and down Main Street, we're located right in front of the KMAQ studios, and the parade is going from the middle school, the junior high school, in a northerly direction like it always does. It forms up around the old swimming pool in Goodnoe Field, and then it proceeds down Main Street, and it turns easterly on Quarry Street, and there from Quarry Street it goes right straight out to just before you get to the fairgrounds, and then the entries to the parade kind of disperse at that point. They used to have it go right onto the fairgrounds and go in front of the grandstand, but they no longer do that. It created for too much congestion after the parade was over, and they have a lot of activities planned after this parade is over. So once it gets close to the fairgrounds, it breaks up, and then everybody goes their separate way. But the color guard is about to come in front of us. People are getting up and are standing now as we await the color guard to pass in front of us. It's the American Legion color guard, and probably some AMVETS members as well as VFW members part of that.
We've had a busy summer, Dennis. Many of these same groups involved with the visit of the Vietnam Memorial Moving Wall when it came to Maquoketa.
Yeah, in other words, that includes also Bellevue.
Yeah, and they're getting a nice round of applause as they carry the colors of our country, and both men and women in that group of about 12 people here to lead off our parade. How appropriate. We talk about being a little warm sitting here, and they've got a warm task ahead of them walking the parade route.
A really nice patriotic float is the first float. It says God bless the USA on the side, and it says united and free. The U.S. flags are flying all around. This one is entered by the Bellevue American Legion Auxiliary and the Post 273 of Bellevue. Very attractive opening float.
And behind them, and riding in the back of a pickup bed, is members of the Spragueville American Legion and Auxiliary. The Spragueville American Legion and Auxiliary represented here. They're choosing to ride their members here in the back end of a pickup. Well, here's our Grand Marshals, Dennis.
Mr. Garian.
And Mr. Anderson.
Mr. Anderson, Gary Anderson, and Bob Garian, and we have their famous Batmobile, I guess it is. You see that a lot. It's called Junkie's Dream by Junkie Garian. He built it, and it looks like a space vehicle, and right behind it's pulling a what is that? A little trailer that looks like a jail.
Jail, yeah. That's something new for the Batmobile. Apparently they've arrested a couple of bad guys that might be threatening the city, so we can all rest at ease. And here's Junkie's Flintstones vehicle, too. He's had that going a couple of times, too, from B&G Salvage in downtown Hurstville. It's the old, I think it's a four-tired or four-wheeled bicycle.
A bunch of tires put together, bicycle tires.
And a bunch of bicycle tires.
It runs smooth, and it looks neat. Yeah, as you say, it's been in quite a few parades, and Junkie Garian has done a good job on that, as well as the other Space Mobile that was driven by Leonard Rickerson again as the spaceman.
Well, this is our first entry. I don't know, did you given a sheet as far as the entries that are going to be judged?
On my desk. I'll go get it.
All right, yeah. We'll say never forget. This is dating back to 9/11, and the theme of 9/11, it says never forget. And this is put in by our Maquoketa Volunteer Fire Department. Pick up from the firemen, and then right behind it we have several of our Maquoketa Fire Department vehicles. But the theme of the first float was never forget. It's that famous picture of the fireman with the flag sticking out of the ground at the scene of the Twin Towers that came down. So that was P number 1, our first entry that is going to be judged and put in by the Maquoketa Volunteer Fire Department. And well, we have several of the units here from our fire department coming down. This broadcast is being brought to you tonight by Friends and Family Used Tractors and Parts at Monmouth, by Sedona Staffing Service, Preston Mutual Insurance, Walmart Supercenter in Maquoketa, by Anderson Pharmacy and Gift Shop in Preston. We thank them for making our broadcast possible. About 4 or 5 of our Maquoketa Volunteer Fire Department units are following that first entry, the Never Forget entry.
Fire supposed to be handing the candy out this year, and already I can see a difference. There's no candy on the street in front of us, and the kids are here with their bags, and they're not getting them filled. So the kids will have to look for the candy as it's going to be handed out, I guess, during the parade today.
Well, some of it is being soft tossed, but maybe the kids will realize that that's not what the whole parade's all about, huh?
Yeah. I really think that's something that needs to be followed through, and eventually the kids will get used to the fact that they should watch the parade and enjoy it instead of worrying about the candy.
They enjoy fire trucks just like anybody else, and maybe they can learn an appreciation about our American flag. And we have our first break here. I wouldn't be surprised if those walking units, as they turned on Quarry Street, will choose to take a break here as well, because that's a hot job for them in carrying our flag. So
we got a good shower of rain at around 8:30, or rather 9:30 this morning, and people got a little worried then. And that was about it for today, and the rain has been in the forecast for today. And is it going to rain on this parade? I doubt it. It looks like it's going to be okay. We'll make it through this parade, but there is a chance for some rain sometime tonight before the night is over. So hopefully that'll happen after midnight and not to spoil any events that are scheduled for tonight at the fairgrounds. It's a hot and muggy night here in Jackson County for the Jackson County Fair Parade here on KMAQ AM and FM. We also have some people that are watching the parade on our streaming. Our website webcam is pointed at the parade right now. On the webcam, they should see this Baldwin Fire Department tanker that's right in front of us. That's from Baldwin, and then right behind that we have another unit from the Baldwin Fire Department. This is a handmade job of theirs.
Yeah, and it says "Win Me." It's a replica of one of their fire department vehicles, number 7, and it was donated by Marty Ballou. pretty authentic looking, and apparently they're having a raffle. You know, Baldwin's trying to build a new fire station. They've had lots of different fundraisers. This must be their latest.
Exactly, I agree with you.
Nice
job, Marty, and that's going to be a popular item for somebody to win. They'll have chances on that.
Here's the Jackson County Regional Health Center and Genesis Health System ambulance. Paulette Horner driving, Medic 552. So welcome our hospital to the Jackson County Fair Parade. Well, this is our Fair Queen, Dennis, that we're having a chance to take a look at. Janelle Johnson. She was named the 2011 Jackson County Fair Queen during Sunday's ceremonies at the Pearson Center. Janelle Johnson, she's the daughter of Larry and Mary Lou Johnson of Maquoketa. And riding along here, the 2011 Fair Queen in a convertible. And then other Queen contestants follow her in the parade. And they include first runner-up in Miss Congeniality, Caitlin Till, the daughter of Patrick and Tracy Till of Andrew. And second runner-up was a tie between Jill Heinrich of Maquoketa and Brooke Kale of Bellevue. Other candidates that are riding here in their convertibles were Jeannie Furrow of Springbrook, Aaron Grant of Miles, Lindsay Heister of Maquoketa, Megan Redmond of Bernard, Kayla Sieverding of Bellevue, and Kimberly Strait of Preston.
Lots of contestants, and it's a big night for them as they sit on these open convertibles, two of them to a convertible, and wave to everybody on each side. They get very little waving back. Occasionally there will be an applause for somebody, but generally speaking, especially here in Jackson County, the crowd that watches the parade is pretty quiet.
Yeah, you're right. We saw the smattering of applause for the color guard, and that's been basically it.
He's a juggler.
Yeah, how about that? A single gentleman walking down the street juggling 3 softballs.
Yeah.
I never could do that.
No, me neither. I've tried it. I guess it's something you got to just work at and keep at it, and it can be done. Here's the Fair family. We've heard about that earlier this week. They were chosen last Sunday afternoon at the Jackson County Fairgrounds.
It's the Lewis and Thelma Lane family, the descendants.
It goes back a long, long way. Yeah. Lewis and Thelma Lane family named the Fair family for this year. That's something they just started a few years back to have to salute a family. And they have the Lanes, Leland and his wife are on the float along with a whole bunch of grandkids. Yeah. Oh, and on the other bench
I believe that's Bob, maybe.
The other Lane.
Yeah. One of them is on the family farm. One farm.
It's a great big flatbed with a green lawn setting and lots of flowers and trees and shrubs and a couple of lawn benches, and the kids are sitting in the middle and on a picnic, I guess you'd say that, a picnic at the fair. We're going to see some antique tractors here.
Well, Steve Tubbs has one now. He's got a 45 John Deere Model H. I don't think I've ever seen Steve in a fair parade, but he's got a John Deere H, Steve Tubbs. He's got it all shined back up.
Bernard Trentkamp in his 1939 John Deere. 1936 John Deere, and he's the owner since 1939. He's had that a long time, Bernie Trentkamp.
And then we have a 48 John Deere A, and that's also in the family of Bernard Trentkamp. Although Cale Gent is aboard that now, I think it's now in the Gent family. And speaking of Gent, there's Scott right behind him, pulling the Jackson County Farm Bureau float.
It's a little house with a sign on top of it that says, "We bring the gift of food from our farm to your farm all year." And
like a wrapped up Christmas gift. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wrapped up.
Toys for Tots program, which is very active here in Jackson County, is pulling a float on behalf of the Engel Agency and their team of realtors. So a little double plug there with 2 different things, the Engel Agency and also Toys for Tots. So we welcome them aboard.
There's some people passing out candy instead of throwing it, and that's good. Prevent child abuse in Jackson County. It's a white pickup with the banner out in front, and we have some kids driving along on the inside of the pickup and also on the back. Prevent child abuse in Jackson County entry. And right behind that, a pink Cadillac, is that?
Yeah, this is a beauty control group. Beauty control is very popular products for, especially for our women, Mary Kay, and so it was some of the area representatives that you can purchase beauty control products and Mary Kay products from are walking here in the parade.
Some of the entries, including that one, has some music playing as it goes down the street.
Our broadcast tonight is being brought to you by Patzner's Pro Shop, Troy and Tricia Patzner at 301 South Riverview in Bellevue, by Barron Motor Supply in Maquoketa, by Mill Valley Care Center and Sunrise Villa Assisted Living in Bellevue, and by the Bellevue Health Mart Pharmacy.
Here we have a SUV with a lot of flowers on the top of it. This must be from Brenda's. It is from Brenda's Flowers and Gifts, located inside the Fairway store here in Maquoketa. She has her SUV and a big floral arrangement on the top of the vehicle with the U.S. flag in the middle.
Kind of a patriotic theme, and that is a unit that is being judged, maybe in the business or maybe in the patriotic. It certainly would fit patriotic, Dennis.
Yes, it would.
Yeah, even the dog has got a patriotic red, white, and blue flag around his neck for a collar. Brenda's Flowers and Gifts. U.S. Bank, one of our fine lending institutions here in Maquoketa. Dwayne Trinkamp, the president, riding here on this side of the pickup, and some of his staff walking behind. Start savings today and rewards tomorrow. That's their START program, trying to teach the young people to start that savings account. And that's the theme of the U.S. Bank. And their START program, the theme of that float.
Green Valley Ag and Turf truck coming into view right now, and it is pulling a big trailer that has some of their products on it. Green Valley Ag and Turf is the John Deere dealer located just south of Maquoketa. And on that flatbed, some John Deere lawn and garden tractors, and one of them is pulling a sweeper, the other is pulling a little trailer in the famous John Deere green and yellow, of course, and a couple lawnmowers beside, and also one of their popular gators. Those tractors and that gator made in my hometown. I was up there last week, and they're doing well these days at Horicon, Wisconsin. Where
how about that? A little plug.
Including the gator.
They're made in Horicon.
Yeah, that's made in...
Then we're getting a little bigger as far as tractors from Green Valley Ag and Turf.
Look at all the entries. Wow.
6140 diesel. But then it gets even bigger with this next one. Look at that.
This one's got 8 wheels. Oh, 8 wheels probably.
8. An 8310.
Oh, yeah.
You need some, I read in a story, the John Deere president in the Quad City Times Sunday said people are going to continue to want bigger and bigger tractors. So they're going to continue to build them.
Well, these are big.
Yeah.
There's no way they're going to get stock.
Yeah.
They're not going to be slowed up by the weather conditions if it's suitable to harvest.
Ended up with a 9230 John Deere.
9230.
That's the biggest of all.
Wow. What an
That's
outfit.
Probably 300 plus horsepower tractor right there. Green Valley Ag and Turf, we're glad to have them in our community. One of 9 locations.
I've always thought
in
it would
eastern
be,
Iowa.
Nobody ever puts a price tag on them. Why not? You know, I think the people watching the parade would get a kick out of what that last unit sells for. I'm going to guess well over $100,000.
Yeah, guess higher. Guess higher.
I think 300.
Yeah. But with the price of corn and soybeans, it's no big deal.
No, that's right. What's this? Oh, one of the...
wonder if this will be one of the combines that's going to be in the program Sunday.
But they did a nice job.
Yeah.
It's called the Hooter Scooter, Crash for a Cure for Cancer. It's the KKF benefit. Oh, that was in April.
Candy Franzen?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's what's making reference to, isn't it?
Yeah.
How about that? I got a nice combine. Yeah.
I wonder if they'll use that Sunday night. I doubt it.
Looks too nice. Kind of a lead-in for Candy is in right into Mahindra tractors and the brother
That's
family.
what it is.
Yeah. Here's the Franzen family used tractors. They have new Mahindra tractors. They have these new TYM tractors as well, and they can come equipped any way you want them. We got a couple here with loaders on them, but there's much more you can do with them. Mowers and blades, you name it.
A growing business in Jackson County is Franzen's, located out Monmouth Way. They have 2 locations now, right on Highway 64 and the old location by the farm. And they used to be just used parts, and now they've gotten into the new business. And some of these tractors will be on display. They'll have old tractors on display at the fair. And Mr. Franzen himself, of course, is a very active fair board member and will be very busy throughout the fair until Sunday night.
He also has gotten involved in a business with the Highway 64 auctions that you see in Baldwin. And Mike is pulling a signboard, a sandwich board, promoting their next sale, which will be at the end of August 27th. So Highway 64 auctions, they turn a lot of machinery through those auctions out there.
A 1952 M Farmall owned by Jim Miller and restored by Lance Miller. That M Farmall was a workhorse in the old days in the 50s and 60s.
You couldn't beat it. Well, here's a older John Deere tractor, but this is pulling a baseball team. That's the most important aspect from this.
The YMCA Pee Wee League champs and the Cardinal Kickoff Classic champs are riding in this unusual vehicle that stands up in the air with, well, I don't know what kind of a vehicle that is.
That's some moves kind of hay, some kind of hay bales.
Must be.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Well, congratulations to the Pee Wee League baseball champs. Rule and Rule is our next entry. One of the fine real estate agents here in town, Rule and Rule Realtors. Make the right move. Choose Rule and Rule Realtors. You can call them at 652-4266. Making the right move, making reference to the truck that is on that flatbed. We're moving you. Rule and Rule. Tiffany Mangler walking along there and handing out some candy.
A big entry in front of us right now. It's a truck that is advertising Wheatland Insurance Agency in Wheatland, Iowa.
One of our good advertisers, Dennis.
You bet.
Affordable insurance, and they also are into real estate now. They get one-day CDL license. Oh, they got all kinds of things here. I think Dave Stevens is now associated with Wheatland Mutual Insurance.
Design Inc. and Hair by Design, two new businesses here in Maquoketa on East Platte Street, right behind the Eagles. Design Inc. is a printing business, and Hair by Design is a beautician.
A5, he's a parade entry. He wants to be judged. It's a 1966 Oliver 770 tractor owned by Hank Bruns, restored by Alan Bruns.
And Alan's driving it, and his wife is waving to us. Alan Bruns and his wife.
Softball team up next. Yep, 770. Here's the Otter Creek Shooting Stars. Welcome them into the parade. Young girls softball team. The Otter Creek, or 4-H Club, I'm sorry, Otter Creek 4-H Club. The Otter Creek Shooting Stars.
An open convertible. It's red in color, and it has two lovely ladies waving to the people on it. It's the Poultry Queen, Janelle Hubie, and the Princess Gabriella Martins, riding in a convertible, and they'll be having some special things out at the fair also this year. So a lot of times they have some sandwiches, some poultry sandwiches. I bet they will again this year.
Yeah, they have their own show, of course, and part of the auction. Here's Hal's Plumbing in Maquoketa and pulling the Masons float. The Healing Lodge, 36 AF and AM here in Maquoketa. They do a lot of great projects. It's a fine service organization. They sponsor the fireworks and prom night, shoes for kids. They've given to the police K-9 unit and more.
Some Zumba dancers are on an open flatbed trailer. Zumba Fitness is being advertised here in the fair parade. And there's the story.
We're having that Saturday afternoon. You can go and, for a $10 donation, help out Club Hope.
Okay, Saturday afternoon between 1 and 2, watch a Zumba demonstration at the fair.
Cardinal Elementary School has a new playground, and they've got a Cardinal Elementary School playground fundraiser that Club Hope is also getting involved with from 5 until 9 on August the 19th.
Yeah. Admission $5 for adults, $2 for students. Put that on your calendar. There will be games, live music, on a silent auction that day.
DeAgostino Family Dentistry. We welcome their unit here, Dr. DeAgostino's and their staff walking along the parade route. And they have got a little four-wheeler vehicle. And DeAgostino Family Dentistry. Thank you, Vicki. Dr. Bruce DeAgostino and Dr. Adrian DeAgostino. His daughter has now joined him in the business.
A little garden tractor, an IH Cub Cadet garden tractor, is pulling this next entry, and it's a small trailer, and it's got a corn top on it, a corn roof, I guess, and it says Grandpa's Garden. This must be maybe Nim's Garden, I don't know.
Grandpa's Garden, kids? I don't think so, but it's a nice little garden scene, isn't it? Yeah, it is. You're right, Dennis. Nim's Gardens. I take that back. He had it pegged all the way. We didn't see the sign until the back.
Maquoketa State Bank has some of their employees walking in the parade and handing out candy to the kids. Every member that's in the walk, and I would say there's probably about 20, has a bag with the goodies, and they give us a couple Tootsie Rolls. Thank you,
Jack knows that Jack Hamlin likes to fatten me up whenever he can. Thank you very much, Jack.
All right, and the MSB van is right behind with support. Bob Scherer's right in front of us. We got enough. We're okay. We're watching our calories, Leighton and I. Grilling for Charity, Jackson County Sheriff's K9 Officer Hondo. It's coming up August the 12th at the bank. They're going to have another grilling for charity at the Maquoketa State Bank on August 12th, 11 until 2. Put that on your calendar.
Last one was for the Humane Society and their Paws for Claws, and now they've got another opening, another one for the K9 K9 officer that they want to get, the new dog.
Mill Valley Care Center and Sunrise Villa Assisted Living in Bellevue is one of our sponsors of the parade tonight, and a backer here on KMAQ of the fair. Also, Bellevue Health Mart Pharmacy in downtown Bellevue. Hospice of Jackson County, a nice entry, Leighton. Look at that. A nice big float. Trailer.
Yeah, nice float. They do a lot of great things. They work with a lot of families here in Jackson County, Hospice of Jackson County, and they have a nice entry.
Senator Todd Bowman is walking in the parade right down the middle of the street and waving to the people. He's finished up his first session at the legislature in Des Moines, and he has a new
state map.
A
new state map. Thanks.
All right, new Iowa map, right up to date.
Very good, Todd. He's working hard here, working in that parade. Larry Buck-Coos and his family are also walking in the parade, throwing out candy.
Supervisor Coos.
Appreciate their efforts there.
A Tootsie Roll from the supervisor.
That's pretty dinky. Hey, this is what your opponent might be handing out. So I just.
Mike Marshall Custom Baling has a big tractor in the parade, and his Vermeer baler is right behind. Then behind him we have McMahon Salvage in Maquoketa, and this is a pickup truck with some deer taxidermy, some big deer head with big antlers. And it's Ryan Ehrig of Ehrig Wildlife Taxidermy, and some of his work that he's done, including a pheasant and a couple of deer and a duck and
fish. You name it. He can do it. Taxidermy, that is quite an art. No doubt about it. It's cloudy up north. They say there's some rain in northern Jackson County. I think it'll stay away, but you can see the clouds up there.
Yeah, you can. Yeah. Entry number C16 is by Chris Waters Fencing. And he has one of his big vehicles and one of his big trailers with one of the pieces of equipment he does to do fencing. We have a little lull here in the parade right now, so let me just talk about Osterhaus Health Mart Pharmacy. Osterhaus Health Mart Pharmacy in West Platte and Maquoketa is a backer and booster of the fair, and congratulates all of the people involved in putting on this fair again this year, especially the young folks in 4-H and FFA. C&R Tires is another booster and backer of the fair again this year. That's Randy and Denise Brame. They have their tire store located on Highway 64 east in Maquoketa. And Jackson County Farm Bureau is a sponsor of broadcasting from the fair here on KMAQ and bringing you the parade today. Jackson County Farm Bureau with all of the many programs they have going to help the farmer, and they have a beautiful building on East Platte Street on the corner in downtown Maquoketa. Anybody can join Farm Bureau. The Engle Agency Insurance and Real Estate is also sponsoring our parade broadcast tonight. They're located right across from the courthouse on West Platte Street in Maquoketa for all of your insurance needs, and for if you're needing to list or buy a property, check with the Engle Agency.
Along with Cordelia Seed of rural Andrew. For your seed needs, Medical Associates, Maquoketa, Wyoming, soon to come to Preston, at H&R Block in Maquoketa, and also the Wild Rose Casino and Resort in Clinton. You'll hear from those folks as we go along during Fair Week. We'll start our broadcast. Dennis and I'll be broadcasting exclusively from the Jackson County Fair from our booth starting at 1:05 tomorrow afternoon. We'll have reports at 5 past the hour, afternoons and evenings, during the Jackson County Fair.
8:30 tonight, or after, thank you, 8:30 tonight or after the fair parade is over, it's going to be the All-American Lumberjack Show. That's the main attraction for tonight at the fair. Then tomorrow night, of course, at 6 o'clock, it's stock car racing. Friday night, it's the tractor and truck pull at 6 o'clock. And Saturday night, the big country music show, and that's featuring Craig Morgan with Country Edition opening up at 7. Thank you very much.
All right, Dutrack Community Credit Union with their float entry. It says 1% less interest, 90 days, no payment.
Dutrack, okay. Very good.
Okay,
all right.
Enough.
So we have Dutrack. Highway 64 West Maquoketa, right across the road from Tyson's. And one of our good advertisers on KMAQ. Jackson County Master Gardeners put a lot of work into their float, Leighton.
They certainly did. They've got flowers even on this four-wheeler that is pulling their entry. Jackson County Master Gardeners were so lucky to have had several graduating classes. They do a lot of great projects. They've got surrounding the community, they've done some different projects. And
it's an outdoor garden scene, of course.
Yes.
With a place to sit and enjoy the flowers and a nice selection of flowers. All, of course, grown by Master Gardeners. A very colorful, nice float, and a couple kids with the adults on the float. They're blowing some bubbles.
It says, "Love grows in a garden."
Yeah, that's their motto for the fair. Yeah. Love grows in a garden.
Here's grandkids on wheels.
Hey, how you doing? Nice to see you, Perry, from Kansas City, visiting the fair. We have something about them that we'll talk about. What's that? That's the grandkids also of Nick Meyer.
Is that the one right there?
It takes about 20 hours to learn how to run a unicycle. And then there are many tricks to learn to keep them going. Carlina and Allison are part of the Elementary Unicycle Club in Seattle, Washington. Moms of the kids are former Kim and Kelly Steigerwald of Delwood. They're Bob and Levon Steigerwalds hosting these kids from Kansas City and Seattle this week here at the Jackson County Fair. The Seattle kids come with a lot of experience on summer activities.
Brian Moore, our state representative, has a unit with a big signage on the side of the truck, Brian Moore, but the main part of this is the big Republican elephant, and it says Vote Republican. I don't see Brian. Here's a couple of his kids. Maybe he's on the other side of the street, blocked out by the elephant. It must be 10 foot tall, Dennis.
Is that an inflatable one, I wonder?
I don't know.
That's huge to be able to move from fair to fair.
Never seen
anything like that. A huge Republican elephant. And Vote Republican top on it, a blanket. And it looks like it's in brand new condition, and I wonder if it's an inflatable type. We'll have to check on that.
Onward Bank and Trust, with several locations: Cascade, Baldwin, Monticello, Onslow, Cedar Rapids, and Marion. And some of their employees handing out candy down along the parade route. Onward Bank and Trust. Next up, we have some clad, I believe this might be Fidelity. Fidelity Bank is in the pickup, and about 8 or 9 of their employees in red t-shirts handing out candy. Fidelity Bank in Maquoketa, Lamont, and Bellevue. Also in our parade this year.
We've been broadcasting these parades since 1959, and tonight's kind of a new thing. We have a webcam that's working tonight and broadcasting the parade on the internet, the actual view of a TV webcam. And we have about 50 people watching on the webcam, 50 different places, so nice to have you folks watching the parade on KMAQ's website.
And we got to catch them when they're off to our left here, because by now the pub club has gone by, but the pub club has a wagon that has all of their mottos on it. The pub club, good service, good friends, good food. The pub club in Lost Nation, which is under new ownership. And if you're looking for a good place to have a good something to eat or a drink, go to the pub club in Lost Nation. And now they should be seeing this float.
Yeah, the people on our internet seeing a big, long float being pulled by a black pickup truck, and there's all kinds of adults and kids on it. And this is, says, oh, is this Sunshine? Okay, it says, always read me a story and kiss me good night. That's the big sign on the side of it. And they have members of the Sunshine School, preschool and daycare center here in Maquoketa. A very nice, large entry by Sunshine School, known for their large, nice entries at Jackson County fairs.
Sally Davies, the director, is walking and trying to stay cool with her bottle of water. Timber Lanes has a big bowling pin on the back of this hay rack as it comes into view. And it says Rolling for High School Bowling. You know, something, there's Louie. They're trying to get started, Dennis, is high school bowling. And he's also promoting his beach party that's coming up on Saturday, the 30th.
Did you get hit?
Yep.
Okay, some of them are throwing them pretty hard, aren't they? They're throwing candy again this year. They didn't take the suggestion that they pass out the candy. A lot of people are now throwing the candy, and sometimes they throw it pretty hard on top of it. Brad Deary has a few entries right now in the parade, including kind of an unusual, a really sharp car, this green one, this green Chevrolet.
Yeah, that's the Camaro. The muscle car is back, and that leads the Chevrolet entries into the muscle car field. And The new Chevy Camaro from Brad Deary.
Yeah.
It's an unusual color.
What a color.
Well, Brad Deary.
They'll know you're coming down the road if you have that car.
Yeah. Our broadcast tonight brought to you by Trend Camp and Marshall Electric, Miles and Bellevue. Also by Westside Auto, your auto service center in Preston, and by Kellums and Birch Heating and Air Conditioning, your Lennox dealer in Maquoketa.
Parade is already a half hour long, and there's no end in sight as we see almost bumper-to-bumper entries coming northerly down Main Street here in Maquoketa. And we'll have St. Louis Cardinal baseball, by the way, right after the parade is over. For you Cardinal baseball fans, we'll go down to Busch Stadium as soon as it's over. One other thing I'd like to say to those 50 households that are watching the parade this afternoon on our website, you might email us sometime tonight or tomorrow and just let us know where you all were watching from. It'd be interesting tomorrow to point out some of the places around the country that watch the parade on KMAQ's website tonight. Our email address is simply KMAQ@KMAQ.com, and I'll be glad to hear from you.
Aiming for Adventure is the theme of the next parade entry here, and it's the Gary Owen Guys and Gals, one of the long-standing 4-H clubs here in Jackson County. Gary Owen Guys and Gals, and their theme of Aiming for the Future.
Next up is a pickup truck from Kenyon Auto Sales, rural Jackson County. One of the pickups that they have for sale. That's followed by another big truck, and it'll be here in just a moment. We can tell you about it. In our parade here at the Jackson County Fair Parade, which makes it one of the longer parades around, anybody can put anything in the parade. In fact, here's a case where you don't even have to decorate it. This tow truck from Kenyon Auto Salvage is simply their big tow truck. I guess it is nice to have it in a parade because you can see exactly how big of an outfit it is. Wow, this is one large tow truck. That's the type that'll get a semi out of the ditch, I guess, Leighton. And they do 24-hour towing.
Kenyon Auto Sales has several vehicles, followed up by their flatbed truck.
That's not a train, that's a Kenyon horn.
And finally, a pickup. Again, probably that's for sale at Kenyon Auto Sales. So for years, they were located in Wyoming. Now they're on Highway 30 in Clarence. We welcome them to the Jackson County Fair Parade. Our broadcast tonight brought to you by the Fairway Store in Maquoketa out on Westgate Drive, by Bridgeport Auto Sales, Old Highway 61 South, Maquoketa, by Minor, Gilroy and Meade on South Main in Maquoketa, and by the Lost Nation and Elwood Telephone Company.
KMAQ AM and FM bringing you the Jackson County Fair Parade on a breezy, hot, muggy Wednesday night, the opening night for the Jackson County Fair. Not much goes on until the parade is over, and then it's a busy night tonight. A lot of people have a fun card that they paid, $25 for, and they can go to the parade, to the fair every day. But if you're going tonight, it's a $10 admission for adults, and young kids are admitted free.
Well, it's hot, but it's going to get cold this winter, and if you want to have good heat in your house, think of about a central boiler outdoor furnace from Southers Heating and Electric in the Lost Station area. Central boilers.
The whole furnace is up on that big truck of his. Jackson County Democrats have a pickup in the parade right now, and it's a pickup that lists the candidates for election again this year. Some maybe not this year, but
David Kunzweiler
are the officers now.
David Kunzweiler, the Democratic Party chair, driving.
Punky's Daycare has a pickup in the parade and a trailer, and on the trailer there's a picnic table, and some of the teachers are at the picnic table, and the kids are situated around them on the flatbed. From Punky's, I don't know where that's located. Doesn't say. They don't say what town. Now here we have simply an international old pickup